Is there any sound more frustrating than the crunch of a paper jam? You know, the one that's immediately followed by that dreaded error message, and it always seems to happen right when you need to print something important. Well, don't worry. If you've got an HP OfficeJet Pro from the 9100 series, we're going to walk through exactly how to get that thing cleared and printing again in no time.
Ah, yes, the blinking light, the universal signal that all productivity is just ground to a halt. It's basically your printer screaming, "Houston, we have a problem!" But here's the good news. This is almost always a problem you can solve yourself. So let's break it down and figure this out, step by step.
We're going to approach this like detectives on the hunt for a paper culprit. First, we'll check all the usual hiding spots, the easiest fixes. Then we'll investigate the paper trays and the rear door. If our jam is still at large, we'll move on to a little proactive maintenance with a roller clean, and we'll finish up with the ultimate fix, the 60-second reset.
All right, first up, the easiest fixes. Honestly, 9 times out of 10, the jam is hiding right in the main body of the printer. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's the most direct path the paper takes, so it's the most likely crime scene.
Okay, so go ahead and open that main front door. Then, right above it, lift up the cartridge access door. You should see the print carriage move. Now, look carefully inside for any crumpled up paper. The key here is to pull it out slowly and gently. Try your best not to tear it, because any little scraps left behind are just going to cause another jam later on.
Now here's a pro tip. This is where those tiny, sneaky paper scraps love to hide. See that gray or blue cover over the rollers? That's the paper path cover. Go ahead and take that out and do another really thorough check underneath it. Once you're positive it's clear, just snap that cover right back into place and close up both doors. Okay, so what if the coast is clear inside, but that angry little error light is still blinking? Well, that means our jam isn't in the middle of the path. So that brings us to our second location, the paper trays. Let's go right back to the source.
First, just lift off the output tray, that's where your finished prints come out, and set it aside. Now, pull the main paper input tray all the way out. Sometimes the paper gets just a little bit crooked right as it's being picked up, and that causes a jam before it even gets started. So clear out anything you find in there.
And hey, this is a really important tip for those of you with the bigger, high-capacity models. If your printer has a second paper tray under the main one, you have to make sure you pull that one out and check it just as carefully. A jam can absolutely start in either tray.
All right, we've checked the beginning of the paper path and we've checked the middle. That only leaves one place left to look, the end of the line. For our third step, we're going around back to access the rear door for one final sweep.
Spin the printer around and you'll find a small tab or button. Press that and the rear access door will pop open. This gives you a great clear view of the last set of rollers. Look inside, pull out any paper you find, and then, and this is important, make sure you close that door securely. You need to hear it click into place so the printer knows it's all sealed up.
So, you've done it all. You've checked the front, you've checked the trays, you've checked the back, and there's nothing. But that error light is still blinking at you. This is the moment we pivot. Because if there's no paper, the printer might just think there's paper, all because the rollers that feed it are dirty and can't get a good grip.
This next step isn't just a fix for a stubborn error. Think of it as preventative maintenance. It's actually a fantastic way to stop future jams before they even happen. We're going to give those paper pickup rollers a good cleaning.
And you only need 2 simple things for this. First, a lint-free cloth. You know, like a microfiber cloth for glasses or even a coffee filter in a pinch. And second, some distilled or bottled water. It's best to avoid regular tap water because it can leave behind mineral deposits that cause problems down the road. Now listen up, because this is without a doubt the most important step in this section. Before you go sticking anything inside the printer, please turn it off with the power button and then unplug the power cord completely from the wall. Safety first, always.
Okay, let's do this. Lightly dampen your cloth. You don't want it sopping wet, just damp. With the paper trays still out, carefully tilt the printer back a bit so you can see the rollers inside. Now, just gently wipe each roller with the cloth, using your finger to rotate them so you clean the whole surface. You might be surprised at how much paper dust and gunk comes off.
And once you're done cleaning, just walk away. Let everything sit for about 10 minutes. This part is super important. You have to give those rollers time to dry completely before you plug it back in and power it on. It's a simple step that prevents any potential electrical issues.
All right, we are on the home stretch. We've hunted for paper, we've cleaned the rollers, but if that error is still hanging on, it's time for our final move, the hard reset.
This is the trick that can often clear a phantom error right out of the printer's memory.
Now, this next part is really, really important, and I know it's going to feel a little weird. You have to start this process with the printer turned on. So resist that urge to press the power button first. Leave it on.
Okay, so with the printer on, just go straight to the back of it and pull the power cord right out. And then you wait. Let a full minute pass. Then plug the cord back in. The printer should fire up all by itself. If for some reason it doesn't, just go ahead and press the power button. And that 60-second wait isn't just a random number. There's a real reason for it. That full minute gives all the little capacitors inside time to completely discharge. And when that happens, it totally clears the printer's short-term memory of that annoying error state. So don't rush it. Give it the full minute.
And there you have it. Your printer should now be error-free and ready to get back to work. But this whole experience brings up a pretty important question, right? Clearing a jam is great, but preventing one in the first place is even better. Things like regularly cleaning those rollers, or even just making sure you're using good quality paper, can make a huge difference. So what's one small thing you can start doing to keep your printer happy and jam-free?